So you got a low oil pressure light in your V70XC, kind of like this customer did. In this in particular case, what happened is the O-rings, they got deformed. The O-rings between the oil pan and the block. The pickup tube was pretty plugged up too. There was quite a bit of sediment in here. It's Saturday. If you notice, I'm not wearing my Volvo shirt because normally I don't work Saturdays. So this is going to be very quick. I'll give you the rundown here real fast as I can. And hopefully this helps somebody out along the way. There's an easy way to do O-rings in between the oil pan and the engine. Let's start with the first thing. These are the two O-rings that are sitting in between the oil pan and the engine. As you can see, this guy's got a flat spot, and that was allowing air to get sucked up in between, or it's just introducing air into the system, so it's causing the low oil pressure light to come on. Will it blow your engine? Well, if it's not too bad, probably won't, but it can. So there you go. The reason I'm making this is because a lot of guys, when you slide these O-rings up there, they kind of set inside. What I do to make this easier, because once you slide the oil pan in, you're kind of left guessing because you can't see them. Did they move? Did I hit them? Did they slide out of place? It sucks the wondering, because if it did, and you put oil in it, you start it, and your oil lights, it means you got to take it apart and you got to do it again. And nobody likes to do the same job twice. But hey, you know the saying, if you got time to do it wrong, you got time to do it over. So there's an answer to that. Just regular spray adhesive. No, this is not an ad for spray adhesive. This is just the stuff I've always used. I used it for Volvo, Mercedes, VW, Audi. You get the idea. I've worked on a lot of cars. And that stuff is the end-all to end-all. You can use it on a lot of different things where it would be hard to hold the gasket in. The things I can think of right off the top of my head. Volvo 5-cylinder water pumps. If you spray the gasket, you hook it to the water pump, let it set up, you put it on the car. Next time you have to do that job, when you pull it off, the gasket will be on the water pump you're throwing away anyway, and the block will be spotless. So that's already easier. If you do a head on a 5-cylinder and you've pulled it and you left the exhaust manifold in place, which most of us do, at least, I mean, I do it that way because it's a lot faster. When you go to put the head back in, you glue the exhaust manifold gaskets to the head. That way you can slide it in, and it doesn't matter. Glue isn't going to affect anything. As a matter of fact, it'll probably just burn up. I'm guessing that's what happens to it. It just won't cause a problem, so don't worry about it. So in this case, obviously, we're talking about O-rings. So the easiest way to show this to you, we'll do it this way. So here is our O-rings. I've already glued them, and clearly it's not glued on this side. The glue is on the side that's going to attach it to the block. But as you can see, they're just kind of hanging out here in the open. When you slide the oil pan in, once you've slid that up, all view of those is gone. So now if you didn't glue them and they're just hanging loose, which, you know, that's the way they used to be, you just don't know if they moved. And you don't want to have to do this job again. Just saying, it would suck. So if you use that spray adhesive, spray the O-rings, blow on them a couple of seconds, you know, tack that glue up, then put it in, and then go about your business. Go put your anaerobic sealant on your oil pan while that sets up. It only takes a few minutes for them to really harden up in there. And no, it won't harden the O-ring. The O-ring is still good, but as you can see, he stays pretty good. When you slide the oil pan in, before you do that, just take a little bit of oil and go on this side of the O-ring. Put it on there so they're a little more slippery. That'll make your job way, way easier. Trying to think. The other thing that we need to talk about real fast, anaerobic sealant. The oil pan didn't come with RTV on it. So don't put RTV on it. It's just dumb. You're going to have a mess. Your car wasn't designed for it. They're finely machined surfaces, and anaerobic sealant is designed solely to fill small cracks. There's an easy way to apply this stuff, and you don't need a lot. You're not going to put it in there in a big, thick bead and then slap it up. That's not how this works. I get a little touchy when I start talking about this because I've seen shops that just gob this on, and you're thinking, these people must have butcher blocks and bloody aprons hanging on the side of their toolboxes. I wouldn't let them touch my lawnmower. Matter of fact, I had to redo the top of a Volvo where they, get this, they used RTV on the 5-cylinder valve cover. You know, for the cam cover. Yeah. It just squeezed into everything and it burned up the top of the head. So there you go. You don't do that. Easiest way to put not RTV. Forget about RTV. You just don't use it. Volvo didn't want it. If God wanted it there, he would have put it there himself. He didn't. It's not on your car. So don't do it. Anaerobic sealant. This stuff I can put in here and come back 10 years later and it'll still be all gushy, sticky, you know, the way it is. So what I do, see, I mean, this stuff is, it's sticky. So once you get this, oh man, this is tough to do this one hand. This is great. Okay. There you go. Ugh. Now I'm gonna have to do this again. Boy, this video is getting longer by the second if I have to keep fighting this stuff. All right, I'm just gonna do this. All right. As you can see, I've already put it on. Once this is on, you just roll this stuff on. That's all you're gonna do. Roll it out. And you want it very light. Crap, and I just put a gob of it on there and I hate that. We're gonna smooth that out, take it off. Anyway, you get the idea. Okay, there you go. That's good enough. You get the idea. It's very thin because you don't need much. And just like with the stuff sitting in here, you can put this on, walk away, come back 10 years from now and decide, oh, I'm going to put that oil pan back up now. You can still do that. Anaerobic sealant never, I can't stress this enough, never dries unless it's in the absence of air. And I'm guessing you already know what that means. When I put this oil pan back up and squeeze it together, these two finely machined surfaces will come together and there won't be any air there. Obviously, if there was, oil would be pumping out the side of the pan. It's never going to happen. If you put this on lightly, like I just showed you, and you slap this up on the car, put your bolts in, when you look up inside where the oil pan meets the engine block, there's going to be the finest little bead all the way around there because you didn't gob the crap out of it and it didn't go everywhere. You don't need to do that. It's anaerobic sealant. For God's sakes, very little. If you put it on the way I just showed you, I guarantee you for the rest of your life, you will never have a problem. It will never leak. You'll be good to go. So there you go. And yeah, when it gets on your hands, it just stays sticky forever because again, it don't dry. So there you go. So glue the O-rings, anaerobic sealant, and you know the biggest. It's not the biggest thing, but it is. Make sure you clean the garbage out of the oil pan. I have a partner, so I just put it in there and let it just run until it cleans 90% of it out of there. The pickup tube. This one's pickup tube had a lot of stuff in here. I don't know if I can get a flashlight to show this. I don't even know if I can get this thing to stand up long enough for me to show it. We'll see if we can do it anyway. Ooh, we can do it this way. Check this out. Okay, that screen in there, he had a lot of stuff in there. As a matter of fact, when I put the parts washer fluid down in there to start loosening it up, it just came right back out up off the top. That should never happen. It should be able to run right through and out the other end of this. That didn't happen. It just pushed right up. So it was pretty plugged. So clean that out. Clean any sediment out of the bottom of the oil pan. Anaerobic sealant. Glue or spray adhesive for the O-rings. I think that's probably it. Make sure that you get all your bolts back in the right place. I mean, I've done so many of these, I can mix them all together. I know where everybody goes. Trying to think. Tools. Might as well give you that real quick. This is basically all I use to take it apart. This long 1/4-inch extension. Mid-range, or I think this is a 5-inch 3/8 extension, 1/4-inch ratchet, 3/8 ratchet. It's a flex head. You don't have to have a flex head. That's just what I grabbed. I got a billion ratchets. 10mm deep well socket. This is a 13 shallow. Both these are 3/8. This is a 1/4-inch 10mm swivel. This is a T40 long 3/8 drive Torx bit. Obviously, you can see that. And this, I use this to always remove the oil cooler. If you have a 94 to 2007 5-cylinder, almost all of it is going to be the same. The procedure will be, it's anaerobic sealant on the pan, glue the O-rings because they're all the same on the bottom part. Your older models will not have the oil cooler on the back of the back of the oil pan. So I believe it's 98 down. You don't have to worry about that. Maybe it's 99. I'm trying to think. I do way too much of this stuff. Anyway, new O-rings. Clearly, you're not taking this apart to put the old crap back in. So you're gonna, if you have the newer model with the oil cooler on the back of the oil pan, O-rings for that. I had already done it, but the 2 O-rings that are in here, they're both the same size. You've got the pickups, so you'll want to replace these 2 guys. You just pull that tube out, put new ones on, put it back in. Easy, easy. So, in a nutshell, I think I covered just about everything. That's really all you need to do. It's pretty cut and dry and fairly simple. And then just reverse the procedure. Put your oil pan back in the way you took it out. Oh, one other thing. After you pull the bolts, this goes back to the anaerobic sealant. Once it's in there and it dries, I mean, you could almost take the bolts back out and that thing ain't never coming loose. So the easiest way to do this, and I'm going to try and stress how careful to be, I use a very lightweight, this is like a 32-ounce dead blow mallet. It's obviously it's made of plastic and rubber, and there's sand in it. You can't hear it, but you can kind of feel it. I usually take this and I hit it right here, and it's light. You know, you don't have to. Don't beat the crap out. There's no need for that. You don't have to beat it to death. You're going to look the fool if you put a giant hole in the side of your oil pan and then you go to, get your new one and you try to remove what's left of this and realize, oh, it didn't come out because I forgot a bolt. If you have all the bolts, a few taps, it will all of a sudden just pop off. If you don't have all the bolts, and I've had this happen several times to me where there's one on the front on the dipstick side. It's a darker area up there. It's easy to miss one of the small ones. Make sure you have all the bolts. Give it a couple of smacks. It'll drop down. You can slide it out. I think that's about the gist of it. Just don't whale the crap out of it. You don't get angry and start beating on your oil pan. If it doesn't pop right off, start looking. You missed a bolt. Other than that, I think that covers just about everything. That should make your job a lot easier, though. If you glue in the O-rings, put the anaerobic sealant on with a roller, and again, it's anaerobic sealant. Don't use RTV. I think that's about the gist of it. RTV, room temperature vulcanization. There you go. That's your words for the day. Other than that, don't use RTV. RTV is bad, 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 bad. I think I got everything. It's a pretty simple, straightforward job, but if you glue in those O-rings, you'll have way more success when you put this baby back in. I'm tired. I'm sorry if I droned on yet again, but yeah, that should get you going. You should be good to go. So I'm going to finish this and go enjoy the rest of my weekend, and you do the same. See y'all later.